Hello everyone, I'm Geek Freak and welcome to the video. Do you guys remember those two videos I made about Bleach? It was about me saying which forms of Ichigo is the strongest from weakest to powerful, and which forms of Ichigo can beat which forms of Naruto. Now, in my Dear Clyde video, where I made a video directed to Clyde, asking him which forms of Ichigo is the most powerful from weakest to strongest, and I know the reason why he hasn't responded to this video is because he and Seth the programmer is making an animation fight of Naruto vs Ichigo, and that's the reason why he hasn't responded to my video, which I can respect. Clyde and Seth is saving all the answers for that video they are making of Naruto vs Ichigo, and to be fair, I should have known that's what they were doing, saving all the answers for that one video. I think they actually might be making a death battle style video of sorts. I mean, that's my best guess anyways. So I'm not going to ask Clyde which is the weakest to the most powerful versions of Ichigo. I'm going to wait until he and Seth finishes that video they are making. I am 100% sure they'll give all the answers as to who would win in a fight between Naruto and Ichigo. Now, even though I did say I wouldn't ask Clyde who is the most weakest to the strongest versions of Ichigo, I do have 3 questions for Clyde. And number 1 is he and Seth going to use all versions of Naruto and Ichigo from weakest all the way to strongest? Like, we're not just going to have one version from each series, like the Blood War arc Ichigo versus Boruto Okage Naruto. Because if you ask me, I think that would be really boring. In my opinion, I think it would be a lot more fun if Clyde and Seth went from weakest to the strongest versions of Naruto and Ichigo, as you guys can see here from this chart. And the reason why I want to see this is because I would love to see Soul Society Ichigo in a fight with Naruto. Well, a Naruto that's comparable to Soul Society Ichigo, because Soul Society Ichigo is actually my favourite version of Ichigo. But saying that, I don't want to just see Soul Society Ichigo, I want to see all versions of Ichigo, from weakest to strongest. And listen, I'm not asking Clyde or Seth which ones are the most strongest to weakest. All I'm asking is, are they going to use every single version of Naruto and Ichigo? You know, all their power-ups, all their transformations, just like what I'm showing you guys right here. Like I said, it would be boring if it was just one version of Ichigo versus one version of Naruto. I mean, at the very least, I think these are the weakest to strongest versions of Naruto and Ichigo. At the very least, I think so. But you know, that's me. I mean, who knows? Maybe I'm wrong and Clyde will put them in the order of what he thinks is the weakest to strongest. And the same can be said with Seth with Naruto. Seth putting the weakest to the strongest versions of Naruto. But like I said, I'm not going to ask Clyde or Seth who's the strongest to the weakest versions of Naruto and Ichigo. I'm just going to wait for the animation that Clyde and Seth is making. All I'm asking is if they are going to use all versions of Naruto and Ichigo. That's all I'm asking. Question number 2. Now this is directed towards Clyde. Now, even though I said he doesn't have to tell us which versions of Ichigo is the weakest to strongest, I would like to ask Clyde how powerful full bring Ichigo is. And the reason why I'm asking is because some time ago I did make 2 videos of Naruto versus Ichigo, all versions. The first one I did a sloppy job of because I missed a few forms that Ichigo had, like his full bring Shinigami powers and his forms after he fought Ukiura, and if I remember correctly, I think I also missed out his complete full bring powers as well. But in my second video, Dear Clyde, I added full bring Shinigami Ichigo, both his Shikai and his Bonkai, and after his fight with Ukiura, forms with his Bonkai and his mask, where he got a lot more stronger after his fight with Ukiura. And I also added Ichigo's complete full bring powers, and I also put them from weakest all the way to the most powerful, because in the first one I didn't add full bring Shinigami Ichigo and after Ichigo's fight with Ukiura forms or his full bring powers, but in my second one I did. But there was 2 more forms of Ichigo that I completely forgot existed, and it was these 2 that leads up to Ichigo's complete full bring powers. It was full bring version 1, then full bring version 2, and then we get complete full bring Ichigo. These are the 2 forms that I would like to know from Clyde on how powerful they are, because I have absolutely no idea how powerful these forms are. Because when I was making my all versions of Naruto versus all versions of Ichigo, I had no idea where to put full bring Ichigo. Now, I assumed complete full bring Ichigo was on par with his Shikai form in the Soul Society arc, but I think I might actually take that back and say that 3 of his Fullbring forms might actually be much more weaker than his sealed sword form, because from what I can gather, his Fullbring powers are meant for defense, and Ichigo at the time lost all of his Shinigami powers. And also, let's not forget, Ichigo is also a human with powers. Ichigo isn't in his soul body with a sword, he's just a regular human with powers. And this is what I want Clyde to correct me on. Am I right or am I wrong that Fullbring Ichigo is version 1, 2 and 3 is much more weaker than his sealed sword Shinigami form? Because this isn't an Ichigo that has loads of spiritual pressure. This is an Ichigo that has lost all of his Shinigami powers and his hollow powers and was just a regular human. But he does have his Fullbring powers like Horihime and Chad, so Ichigo's Fullbring powers might be less powerful than his sealed sword form, maybe. And if that is the case, I think version 1 of Ichigo's Fullbring powers should be the first to go against Naruto, and then Ichigo's version 2 of his Fullbring powers should go next, and then his complete Fullbring powers should come out after that. And that's where I'm putting the Fullbring versions of Ichigo, his Fullbring powers being weaker than his sealed sword form. At the very least, I think so. But if Clyde thinks I'm wrong and his Fullbring powers are much more powerful, I would like to know how powerful they are. I mean, Clyde has made a few videos about Ichigo's other forms, so if he has time, I would like to see Clyde bring out a video and explain what Ichigo's Fullbring powers are and how powerful they are, because in my opinion, I've never really understood of what Ichigo's Fullbring powers are, or how powerful they are. Now some people will say they're not interesting and they don't bring anything to the table in Ichigo's overall power, but saying that, I do find it interesting. I would like to know how powerful Ichigo's Fullbring powers are and what they can do, and how they measure up against Naruto. And again, Ichigo with his Fullbring powers is just that, a human with powers like Chad and Orihime. At this time, Ichigo wasn't a Soul Reaper or a Hollow. Ichigo was just a human with powers. Now even though I'm going to say Ichigo's Fullbring powers are weaker than his sealed sword form, I mean, Clyde can correct me if he wants to, but if I had to choose a spot for Fullbring Ichigo, I think it would be something like this. Version 1, version 2, and then complete Fullbring. And when it comes to Naruto versus Ichigo, I'm going to say Naruto with his Nine Tails influence can beat complete Fullbring Ichigo. At the very least I think so. But again, if Clyde wants to correct me and say that Ichigo's Fullbring powers are much more powerful than that, then please Clyde, be my guest. Because even I don't know, I'm just assuming things. But from what I can gather, I do think Ichigo's Fullbring powers are weaker than his sealed sword form. At the very least I think so. Actually, there's a thought. Should we count Ichigo's base form in his normal human body without powers to be the weakest version of him? I mean, come on, Ichigo in his human body might be the weakest, but he can put up a good fight. That's all I'm saying. Now, when it comes to number 3, I would like to ask Clyde this. Are they going to have Kurama versus White, Ichigo's inner hollow? Now, let me ask the Naruto and Bleach fans. I mean, we've seen the fight between Naruto and Ichigo in Death Battle, and if you guys would look closely at each series, you will find that there are characters within the series of both Naruto and Bleach that are very similar. Like for example, Naruto and Ichigo, obviously. There's Madara versus Aizen, Uwatch versus Kaguya. I mean, come on, I have seen people comparing Madara and Aizen, and I have seen people comparing Uwatch versus Kaguya. So, what about the beasts within Naruto and Ichigo? Now for me, this is a fight that I would love to see. And yes, I'm pretty sure there's other characters within Bleach and Naruto that are compatible. But I mean, come on, Naruto versus Ichigo, Aizen versus Madara, Uwatch versus Kaguya. So, the obvious next fight would be Kurama, the Nine-Tailed Fox, versus Ichigo's inner hollow, White. That, in my opinion, would be the most awesomest face-off of beasts ever. Two uncontrollable monsters that's full control of themselves, and they're trying to kill each other. I mean, come on dude, that would be awesome! And obviously we'll have to wait until Seth and Clyde has finished their Ichigo versus Naruto fight, and they explain how powerful each form of Ichigo and Naruto is. As soon as they've done that video, they can tell us how powerful Kurama, the Nine-Tailed Fox, is, and how powerful Ichigo's inner hollow is. That is something I would love to see. Or, they might explain it in their video of Naruto versus Ichigo. Maybe. I'm going to say they might explain it in their animation video of Naruto versus Ichigo. That's my best guess. Because something tells me it's going to be a long fight and a very long explanation how powerful each form of Naruto and Ichigo is. That's what I'm thinking. So, what do you guys think? Am I right? Am I wrong? Which forms of Ichigo and Naruto are you looking forward to in Seth and Clyde's video? Naruto versus Ichigo. Would you like to see all versions of Naruto face off against Ichigo? Please let me know in the comment sections below and I will get to them as soon as I can. And one more thing, I think Ichigo in his human base form is most likely the weakest version of Ichigo, but saying that, he can fight. So I think having human form now pose Ichigo at the beginning of a fight against Naruto, then his first version of his Fullbring powers, then his second form, and then his complete form, and it takes off from there. But that's my opinion anyways. I'm Geek Freak, peace out. Thank you guys for watching, and if there's a series you want me to check out and review and give my thoughts on it, or if there's a top 10 list you want me to do, or any reactions, or responses, or rants on anything geeky, just leave links and comments in the comment sections below, and I'll get to them as soon as I can. Don't forget to like, subscribe, put the bell on, share this video, and leave a comment in the comment sections below. And as for my social medias, I'm literally freaking everywhere! I'm on most video platforms, social medias, forums, and support sites. It's best to pause the video and see where I am. Literally all this is down in the description box below. So if you want to go and check those out, please do. I'm Geek Freak. Peace out.